The year was 2003, and the landscape of television science fiction was about to be irrevocably altered, although actor James Olmos had no idea. He was a man steeped in the world of serious theater and impactful cinema, an artist who prioritized the raw, unfiltered truth of human experience over the special effects and elaborate costumes common in space adventures. So, when the script for a reimagined Battlestar Galactica landed on his desk, he wasn't exactly thrilled. In fact, his history with the franchise was non-existent. Back in 1978, when the original series first captivated audiences, Olmos was performing 8 shows a week in the groundbreaking play Zoot Suit. He hadn't seen a single frame. Fast forward to the early 2000s. Producers David Icke and Ron Moore were determined to resurrect the Battlestar Galactica story, but they wanted to do it differently. They needed a leader for their fleet. They needed, as they put it, an James Olmos type. The idea hung in the air during a casting meeting until someone finally voiced the obvious question. "Why do you want we?" just asked the man himself. The room was filled with doubt. He'd never do it, came the reply. He wouldn't even do Star Trek. Why would he ever do this? It seemed like a long shot, but they decided to send him the script anyway, hoping for the best. Olmos received the script and, with a healthy dose of skepticism, began to read. To his utter surprise, the writing was exceptional. This wasn't a story about laser guns and alien monsters. It was a profound exploration of humanity itself. It tackled politics, survival, faith, and the very definition of what it means to be human in the face of annihilation. Intrigued, he agreed to a meeting with Moore, Icke and the director, Michael Reimer. He walked into that room with a single, non-negotiable condition. His voice, already carrying the weight of the admiral he would soon become, was firm. "I will join you," he told them. "But if I see one four-eyed, two-lipped creature looking at me, I'm going to faint on camera. You'll have to write me out of the show, saying I died of a heart attack." What he was asking for was the kind of integrity he had experienced on the set of Blade Runner. A world where the monsters, the replicants, were indistinguishable from their creators. This ambiguity made the conflict deeply philosophical and internal, a struggle of the soul rather than a simple battle of good versus evil. He wanted that same grounded realism for Battlestar Galactica. The producers didn't just agree, they embraced his vision. They promised him a story rooted in the human condition, and they delivered on that promise spectacularly. As filming began, Olmos quickly realized he was part of something truly special. He saw that this new Battlestar Galactica was perhaps the most incredible and intelligent use of the television medium he had ever witnessed. It wasn't just a show. It was a sprawling, complex narrative that used its sci-fi setting to hold up a mirror to contemporary society. For Olmos, it also became a personal bridge, connecting his past work with this new, ambitious future. In his own mind, he developed a fascinating theory. He saw Battlestar Galactica as a prequel to Blade Runner. He imagined that the genetic lineage of Admiral Adama, who arrived on Earth with the last remnants of humanity nearly 200,000 years in the past, eventually flowed down through generations. He envisioned that this DNA, this spirit of survival and complexity, ultimately culminated in his other iconic character, Gaff, the enigmatic Blade Runner from the year 2019. This idea of cyclical history became a cornerstone of the show, perfectly encapsulated by its recurring mantra. All of this has happened before, and all of it will happen again. This phrase wasn't just a line of dialogue. It was the philosophical core of the series, echoing through the corridors of the Galactica and in the minds of the audience. On set, Olmos wasn't just playing a commander. He became one. He was the soul of the ship, the anchor for a cast that evolved into a tight-knit family. He led them through storylines that explored the darkest depths of human despair and the most soaring heights of hope. They weren't just actors pretending to be a crew. Under his guidance, they felt like a real crew, navigating a treacherous journey through space and through their own complex emotions. They tackled themes of military-civilian conflict, terrorism, religious fundamentalism, and the moral compromises necessary for survival. The Cylons weren't just faceless robots. They were reflections of humanity's own creations, fears, and even its capacity for love and faith. The series grew in complexity and acclaim with each passing season. It defied the expectations of what a science fiction show could be, earning critical praise that placed it alongside the greatest dramas in television history. By 2008, as the series prepared for its final act, the journey was nearing its end. The climax brought the characters and the story full circle, filming the final scenes in the heart of New York's Times Square. With the ethereal number 6 and the tormented Gaius Baltar observing modern humanity, the show's ultimate message became crystal clear. After a long, brutal, and transformative cycle, humanity had finally evolved enough to begin to understand itself, to see its flaws and its potential all at once. When the final episode aired and the screen went to black, Olmos felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. This hadn't just been another acting job. It was a visionary journey, a collaboration that had pushed the boundaries of storytelling. It was a project that had, against all odds, gotten better and more profound with every year. It stood as a testament to the power of television to explore the most important questions of our time. It wasn't just a space opera. It was a mirror, reflecting our own world, our own struggles, and our own enduring hope for survival. So Sci-Fi. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing for more stories about the shows that changed television. Summary: this is the untold story of how James Olmos, a serious actor with no interest in science fiction, was convinced to lead the reimagined Battlestar Galactica. Initially skeptical, he was won over by the script's profound exploration of humanity. He joined with one condition: no rubber mask aliens. This demand for realism shaped the show into a critically acclaimed drama that mirrored our own world. Olmos viewed the series as a philosophical prequel to Blade Runner, and his leadership on set transformed the cast into a true family. This is the story of how a sci-fi show became one of the most important television dramas of its time. Battlestar Galactica, James Olmos, BSG. Sci-Fi television. Making of B.S.A. Admiral Adama. Ronald D. Moore behind the scenes. Blade Runner connection. TV history. Best sci-fi shows. So Sci-Fi, Cylon. Science fiction drama. TV retrospective. Pop culture documentary. 2000s television. Television history. How BSG was made. Classic TV series.